Imagine signing a commercial lease thinking you've nailed the perfect spot for your business, only to discover there's a few hidden fees that you didn't know. Does that sound familiar? Well, let's make sure that doesn't happen to you. In this video, I'm going to break down the 5 most common types of commercial leases, explain what CAMs and tie cams really are, and give you the tools to avoid the most costly traps that can really hurt your business. We'll walk through each lease type, cover hidden fees, and I'll share real-world examples, plus a few pro tips on how to avoid these issues when signing or renewing a lease. Let's start with the basics. There's 5 different types of commercial leases we'll cover today. Each has its own pros and cons. Understanding these is key to making a smart decision for your business. The first one is triple net lease. In a triple net lease, or NNN as you'll see as an acronym, you pay for property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. It's like buying a car at a lower price, but then realizing you're on the hook for the repairs. So while your base rent is lower, those extra costs can really add up fast. I had a client who jumped into a triple net lease, thrilled with the low rent, only to get hit with the surprise maintenance fees that nearly doubled their monthly cost. Always budget for these extra fees up front. Next, let's talk about modified gross lease. This lease is more balanced. Some expenses like property taxes might be on the landlord, while you'll cover the utilities and other operational costs. It's great for those who want predictability, but also have some flexibility. Next, let's talk about full service leases. Full service leases are simple. One fee covers everything, which is common in office buildings, but simplicity has a price. You might be overpaying for things you don't need. Next, let's talk about a double net lease, or NN as an acronym. Here, you're responsible for property taxes and insurance, while the landlord covers the maintenance. It's a middle ground that works well for some tenants, but still make sure you understand the specific terms for the actual maintenance. And the last is ground leases. Ground leases are for when you're leasing land and building on it. It's perfect for developers, but be mindful of the long-term nature and potential market shifts. Now let's dive into CAMs, common area maintenance. These are a shared cost for things like landscaping, janitorial services, and parking lot upkeep. CAMs can vary widely, and you might be on the hook for unexpected repairs or major upgrades like a roof. Always get a breakdown of what's included in these fees before signing anything. To give you a real-world example, one of my clients saw their CAM fees jump just because the landlord had to repave the parking lot. That extra cost wasn't in the original estimate and threw their budget completely off. Now let's talk about tie cams. Tie cams are total insurance and common area maintenance. Basically, you're covering both insurance premiums and a shared maintenance cost. If the property's insurance rates go up, you'll feel it in your monthly payment. Always check how these fees are calculated and if there's any cap on how they can increase year over year. Now, let's talk about new leases. Signing a new lease gives you room to negotiate almost everything. Rent, who pays for the renovations, CAM fees, and even lease length. This is where you have the most control. Don't just focus on the base rent, ask for a cap on CAM fees to avoid future surprises. This could save you thousands down the road. Now, let's talk about renewing your lease. When renewing a lease, you're working within the framework of your current contract. While you may have less flexibility, you can still negotiate fees or rent increases. For example, I once helped a business that had been in the same location for years, only to face a rent increase at renewal time, along with a mysterious building improvement fee. It's like getting charged for a home renovation that you didn't ask for, so make sure you know what's being added. One tip for avoiding future headaches is to have a lawyer or real estate broker review your lease before signing. Yes, even if it looks straightforward, we'll catch things that you might overlook because we do this all the time and we know exactly where these little hidden gems are. Here's a quick tip. Ask for a cap on the CAMs in your lease. This means the landlord can't raise your fees beyond a certain amount each year, protecting you from unexpected increases. One mistake I see all the time is focusing on the intermediate rent and ignoring the long-term cost. Year 1 might look great, but what happens when the CAMs or insurance rates jump in year 3? Remember, whether you're signing a new lease or renewing an old one, the details matter. So make sure you look over this thoroughly. Make sure you subscribe and download my free guide on lease negotiation. It's linked below, and if you've got questions, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned till next time.